Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we are going to be working on the CRX. So I've been meaning to get more videos on the car. I intended on doing a video of me pulling the motor and getting everything else out of the engine bay, but unfortunately I didn't do that. I had a video of it running, but I lost the footage, unfortunately. So I just got into that point where I was just like, all right, I want to get this thing out. So we went ahead, got the motor pulled. I have the head off and the engine block sitting right here. I'll show you guys here in a second. Cameras, there we go. So we got the engine block right here, flywheel still on it, along with the crank pulley. So I ended up just dropping it through. I left my timing belt on with the timing belt covered because I just pulled the head off to inspect it. And then I dropped the motor through the block. And so we are working on this bad girl right here. We got the front suspension off, the brakes are still hooked up with the calipers still hooked up to the brake lines. I need to take those off at some point. Engine bay, this is kind of what it's looking like right now. We got our throttle cable, we got our transmission shift cable here, one of our fuel lines. Brake boost is still in, the speedo, heater hoses and things like that. The oil filter, or fuel filter, not oil filter, I apologize. Our evap catch can, the harness that goes into the dash. Look at this, guys. So I got this car, it had the B16A in it, that's that motor sitting over there. But look what they did to this poor 4-bar map sensor. They got this thing wired in here, and honestly, guys, I do not like it. So I need to try and figure this all out and why this is like this, because I'm going to be getting an H23A motor for this car. I got it ordered, it'll be coming in next week, along with the H2B kit and a P28 chipped Honda S300 ECU. That's going to be fun, guys. So that's what we're kind of working with for this today. I think the goal for today is just kind of get the cables kind of pulled back through the firewall for the speed, or for the throttle cable, the transmission line. We might pull it through the firewall, but we have to unhook it from the pedals and everything as well. I want to pull the dash off, want to get the steering wheel off. It's got an NRG quick release, but they use like red Loctite on the thread, so it's really messed up, and I need to get a new one and just replace it. It's being held on by like 2 or 3 screws right now. It's not great, but it works. I was able to drive it while I still had the motor in the car before I decided to pull it. And then we're going to be also looking about wire tucking our headlight harnesses and things like that. I want to tuck that and get it to go along the fender well, and then come in and hook in. I want to get my high beams working again, so I might need to get a new harness for that. So that's the main goal, is trying to clean up more of the engine bay, because eventually I want to come at it with a grind or a sander wheel, and just kind of go over the entire engine bay, get a nice clean up all the rust, get it looking really good, cover up a lot of the holes and the things that I don't want painted. And I'm going to come over it with some clear coat, primer, and some like base stuff. And then I'm thinking I'm going to paint the engine bay white. I think I'm white, and then when I get the H23 blue top, I want to pull the valve cover, get new gaskets, new seals, things like that. I want to just replace all that, so I know 100% for my own safety or for my own sanity, not safety, that everything on that motor is going to be 100%. I'm going to get a new water pump, just 100% refresh of the motor while it's out, so I know all the parts on it are brand new. It's going to be great. I got to get new axles because mine are bad, and I still got to get axles out of my hubs. My dad has actually some rear knuckles, so I can do a rear disc brake conversion, because it's still got the disc drums on this car. So we're going to be doing that. But let's go to the back. I'll show you guys the head and all the other parts that we got pulled off, kind of the condition. We're going to be doing a B swap. So here is the B series YS1 transmission. Unfortunately, if you see that, it's not an LSD, sadly, but that's okay. We're going to still use this transmission. We're going to be using that speedo cable. Hopefully maybe get a new one of these, new speedometer cable and a new speedometer sensor. We got new engine mounts coming for it, so this will all be different. The cable there for the tachometer. So we got our clutch along with the pressure plate here. This is going to go back on the other car. No, wait, never mind. I'm sorry. Let's go on the new flywheel that's coming with the kit. Got the radiator here. Underneath here, we have the head, but as you can see, I got all my front suspension kind of just laid out right here. This is the engine harness. It's still got the resistor box for the fuel, or for the fuel injectors. But as you can see, they kind of, like, this harness isn't terrible, but it's not great either. They had the VTEC wired up, which I'll get inside the car and show you that. So it's not a terrible harness. This axle actually doesn't look too bad for the passenger side. No, yeah, no, this might be the half shaft side. No, I think that's this would be the passenger side, because the driver's side, which will have the half shaft, because that'll hook into the transmission, because it's got the full splines all the way right here. This hooks into the transmission. This will be the boot. Like you see, this one over here, this knuckle and everything is all bad. It is all bad, guys. So I need to take this arm and I need to take it to a machine shop, because if you see, this is so rusted and bent in. I even broke a flathead trying to get underneath this, so I'm gonna need to take this somewhere, or maybe even get a new knuckle entirely to get this replaced. And that axle is horrible. This was a head gasket. It didn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great either. It's a pretty thick gasket, so it's not bad. I thought I heard some rod knock or something, but I did not. Yeah, here we go. Look at this VTEC valve pressures, or the VTEC valve solenoid they got wired up in here. They wired up the purple wire, and I kind of just cut it because I didn't care. I'm gonna be getting a new one. The clip here is still good. Somebody could probably rewire this, so it's gonna go back on the car as is, unfortunately. I wish that was nicer. I still gotta get my upper control arm off of that axle, or this knuckle here. But it is on here, guys. This is like, probably hasn't been changed in forever. Look at the state of these bushings, man. They are horrible, guys. So we're gonna rebuild the motor, kind of put everything back together. The starter will go with it, the distributor. It's a new starter for the most part. Brand new distributor I got for the motor. It might be under the head, under this stuff. Under here, under all the suspension parts and the rear T-bracket and everything, the brake pads and all that is gonna be, there's the new distributor. It's got some dust on it, but you see valve cover and things like that are under there. I would move and show you guys, but there's everything on there. So yeah, these coilovers back on, dual true adjustables, HR on the bottom. I'm trying to remember which ones these are, but I don't see any branding. This might be some Skunk 2s, maybe. It doesn't say anywhere. Well, if anybody knows what these coils are, let me know. I'm kind of curious. Some coils, header, I don't need anymore. It's got a big dent on it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. They didn't even have the O2 sensor hooked up to the car at all. Like, the car ran super rich. It ran for what it was, and I've had it for a few years now. And it's been a pretty good car to me. It's very reliable for the most part. I've never had any issues with it. Just your typical maintenance and stuff like that. But yeah, so I don't really have a way to hold my phone, because I'm using my phone to record, because I don't really have any cameras or anything. I have a GoPro, but I'm having issues with that thing. I gotta get that sorted. So we're using the phone for today. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of get like pictures, and then we will go from there. And I'll just kind of like have a picture and some maybe background music after that, and then at the end, in different parts, we'll probably come back and I'll get some more footage for you guys as we progress onward. I don't know if I'm going to take the fuel filter or the other fuel line off yet. I might leave it just for now so I can see where everything routes, because I do want to upgrade my fuel lines to some steel braided lines with some -6, I think is what you use for the fuel rail and everything, and fittings. I need to get some of those because I don't have any. We also need to get that's underneath the rear subframe here that goes to right here. All the bushings on these suspension parts on both sides are just shot, so I'm going to replace all that, get brand new things there. As you can see, I still have the rear engine mount in, which I might see about taking off by getting these bolts out, and then I can kind of clean all this up. I could take the rear subframe off, kind of like engine degreaser it, clean it all up, get it nice painted new. That'll free up all this area right here. The shift linkage is still on down there. As you see, that's your shift linkage and everything right there. I need to probably pull that at some point. It's not necessarily a necessity. The exhaust is still on. I want to get a new exhaust for it. So, I mean, I probably won't be driving the car on the street until after I probably get the radiator. I'm going to get the motor in the car and at least fire it up. I'll get a fire up video for you guys when that comes. If everything goes well, I'll probably have the motor in the car in probably the next month or so, because the motor's coming in next week. I'm getting the kit, so I'm gonna start doing all the prep work for my axles. It might come with an adapter plate. I might be able to get an adapter plate where I don't have to shave any of the block, but if I do, I'm gonna be cutting just a tiny bit off of the back of the block by the valve, or by the oil pan, where the half shaft goes, just so I can make sure my axle clearance is good and that everything rotates freely into my transmission. But I'm gonna do that while the motor's outside of the car, so that way I can see everything. I just gotta go pick up an engine stand, I think would be helpful. But anyways, let's go to the inside of the car like I was gonna say, guys. I know this video is starting to get long for explaining and kind of what's going on, but this is kind of a video that I'm gonna use for introductory as well for this car, because I didn't get any previous footage. So we got some nice Bombs racing seats in here. I've had these seats for a very long time through multiple CRXs. As you can see here, this is the VTEC wiring. Like, it's just spliced in here. And then there's this other harness right here. I'm pretty sure this goes to the heater core. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100%. It looks like they had something clipped in here, like they spliced into it. Yeah, they definitely spliced into it. I'm not sure what wire they spliced into, but it's not there anymore. If they did splice into it, unless they spliced this wire and then on the back side, like they crimped it together, or they were gonna run something, I don't know. But yeah, they have this wired directly into the ECU harness. So I should be able to depin that and maybe repin it if I need to. But this was for the VTEC. Or at least the this wire was. I'm pretty sure this wire was too, but I clipped it where it was red on the VTEC valve solenoid that you guys saw. So the dash needs to come out. I need to pull the steering wheel back off. Nice quick release, as you can see. It's not a bad steering wheel, but I'm gonna get a new one, probably fabric, so it's not gonna kill my hands in the summer, especially being in the desert right now where I'm at. And probably pull the seats out, pull this all out. Yeah, I definitely need to pull this all out with the shift boot. Yeah. Alright, guys. So yeah, you can kind of see the wiring in this car seems to be half, I want to say a swear word, but I'm trying to be user friendly here. It's definitely half done. I don't like it. The guy I'm going to be getting an engine harness built for me, I'm going to be asking him a few questions about this, like, hey, this kind of situation. I'm going to get some pictures for him when he's in Monday, and hopefully he can help point me in the right direction so I can make sure I get this car wired up correctly and I don't have any issues down the road, because he makes a lot of plug and play harnesses, and I'm going to have him build me a good harness for the H23 that I'm going to be throwing in here, and it's going to be hooking up to my stock harness, and it's going to be OBD1, obviously, with the P28 Honda S300 DCU. It's going to be OBD1. That's like the best you can be on for any kind of tuning and things like that. That's like the go-to. As a lot of people know, OBD2 doesn't really get tuned that much. Can it? Yes, but OBD1 is where you want to be. If anybody knows about a climate control for these cars, let me know, because I'm in the market for one. I need one. Or maybe a conversion harness so I can get like a Accord or a different Civic, like a later year, like a 92 or something. Let me know. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to get some pictures along the way for the before and afters and throughout. And I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so I'm gonna be calling it a day here today. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I got done. So as you can see here, we got the fender off right here. We got the headlights out. We have this, I took this all the way off except for the hood latch release cable here. So I just kind of put it back on in place temporarily. These are only hand screwed in here. I can twist it out. So once I can get the cable out, we can get this fully off. We took the bumper off. As you hear, the bumper's right there. Pretty nice. Got the passenger side fender along with the passenger side here. So this piece right here, in case you didn't know, it fits right here. But a lot of like dirt and stuff, as you can see, all this right here was sitting right inside this, because when it sits on the car, let's see if I get it in position here. There we go. It sits like this, right? So as you can see here, you've got all that little area for it to just collect dirt and dust as your wheel rotates. We did unsecure the under dash fuse, under hood fuse. I just gotta get these lines out here that all run to here, and this fuse out, and then this will fully disconnect from the car. I'm thinking about relocating this to inside the cabin, but we'll figure about that. And we gotta figure out this whole wiring harness situation still. It's getting dark, I'm getting hungry, I'm tired. I've been up for a long time now. We got the passenger or the driver's side, and this really hurts me, guys. If you take a look here, I didn't know this at the time when I bought the car. I've had this car for 2 years. I haven't really had any reason to pull off the fender or the headlights or anything, but you can see right here, this is all dented up, like pretty bad. So yeah, we're gonna be taking off this hood latch assembly here, and I'm gonna be wire tucking the driver's side headlight harness here. And well, I now have a convenient hole, because as you can see here, this is supposed to sit flush, and as you see, it's all dented inward, which really sucks. So hopefully I'll be able to figure out something to do with this to keep this a little bit more secure. And no drivability issues. It's just really unfortunate to see on the car. We got to get all of this out. We got to get ball joint out right here, and tie rod, or the rack and pinion, whatever this is, I can't remember. Get that all out. We still got to get the brake line off of the caliper. And over here, we got a nice little array of the headlights and the turn signal lights and the driver's side fender, which they just freaking put some really crappy screw things in here to keep it on. So I'm gonna probably pull these out. I'm probably gonna see about getting a small screw and nut kind of assembly. So it's the same day. It took me a little bit longer because we left the home, had to go to run into the store to get a extension cord because we don't know where ours went in the move, and simply because I had to get my grinder out so I can drill these out. So these hold my bumper to my front bumper support, which is the boy over here. So these sit right here in these holes, and the bumper slides in the hole right here, and you slide these on and it keeps your bumper there. But these would not come out and they around it, so I just took my grinder out and I just went ahead and drilled into them, or grinded into them, to make a nice little slit to get a flathead in there and get it off. So yeah, we're gonna be probably doing a nut and screw setup with that as well. Just trying to fix a lot of the little problems and the little things that will in the future be not problems, because if we fix it now, take care of it to make it to where it's going to secure everything but also not be a pain in the butt to take off, that's a win-win situation. We still got to clean up the rest of the engine bay, get the rest of the stuff out of here. I might leave my brake booster solenoid in and then just kind of cover it with paint or cover it with tape. I don't know yet. I'm not sure all that. I'll have to pull the master solenoid out or the brake booster solenoid out, and we'll figure that out when we get to it. We might do an S2K swap on it. Get an S2000 brake booster solenoid in there. And we got to pull all the harnesses back into the cabin. I'd like to pull the dash to kind of see the condition of the under dash harness, because yeah, this car, the previous owner said they got it, the motor was in the hatch, I believe is what they said. It was just sitting in the hatch, and they put it all in here, and I'm not impressed with the job they did. The wiring that they did, it's all half-assed. I'm sorry, I don't like swearing, especially on videos, but it's definitely half-assed, and I don't like it. So we're gonna try our best to fix it, salvage it, correct all the mistakes, and do what we can to make this car better than what it was when I got it. And that's the goal. Get all this out, sand it down, wash it, clean the engine bay up, prep it, paint it, and it's gonna be awesome, guys. So we got that coming up. That's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys want to see more, keep watching. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, bell notifications and everything like that. I'm also going to be posting this on my social media, my Facebook page, my actual Facebook page, for family and friends and things of that nature. But yeah, we're getting somewhere, guys. Next week the motor comes in, and I'm super stoked about that. We're going to try and get some stuff on the old motor, some videos on that, maybe a reassembly, maybe a refresh, so you guys, if you're curious, can see how that's done. But other than that, guys, I got nothing else. I hope you all have a fantastic night, and I'll see you guys later.